and got the fan clutch off. They had another one in stock, but for the price I paid for this thing, just take a wild guess. I'll give you a second. Take a wild guess what this electric fan clutch with a pulley was. But for what we're about to spend on this picker this year, I could have made a pretty nice little payment on a baler picker. I mean, we're easily going to be spending $20,000 on this picker, probably a little bit more on this picker when it's all said and done. But all right, it's now a couple days later. Zach and Kelly got started spraying cotton yesterday. Also sprayed a fungicide on our one farm of early season beans, and they got about half done spraying with the cotton before we had shut down last night. But we're not going to do any spraying today, not going to get it finished up, because we got a 60% chance of rain predicted today. And well, for insecticides to work, I mean, they need to be on there at least a minimum of 24 hours to do much good, preferably longer than that. So we're gonna hold off spraying today, and possibly tomorrow. Got another 50% chance of rain tomorrow. Probably Saturday we get the cotton finished spraying. So in the meantime, we're gonna get back down here in the shop and get to working on the cotton picker and the tractor here. We got everything taken off on the picker that we need to repair. I got all my parts ordered. They're supposed to start showing up tomorrow, and then I've already got what I need to do to work on the heads, go through there, and I'll show you here in a few minutes what we're doing on that. But first we're gonna get on this tractor. As you can see, we got the seat pulled out yesterday, and now we just need to pull the cover off that condenser there, or evaporator, whichever one it's called, and check it, see how clean it is, and give it a good cleaning. But first we're gonna get all this dust and dirt and everything, get it vacuumed out of here before we open it up. All right, let's pull this thing off and see what it looks like.
That's what, all this is loose. I wonder if it all comes out as one piece.
Must have to.
I don't know how far I'll be able to move it, because it's still, the wires are still tied in back here. I'll be able to move it a little bit. The wires aren't holding. Oh, it's got another screw in it. It's loose.
This is absolute horse crap.
There's screws on the bottom side too, ain't it?
Yeah, it screws all the way around the bottom side, so this is not going to come out. I mean, it's two screws on the side that got to come out.
I just can't believe we can't lift that top half out with that. Why they would tie this in to something else to where you couldn't just lift that out. That would be the practical thing to do.
All right, finally got the cover off here. Get down to the evaporator. Had to make this little crooked screwdriver here to get that one screw out over there, and Zach got the cover pulled off while landlord stopped by and talked my ear off for a while. But she's definitely dirty. I'm trying to get a little wire brush down there and clean that out and blow it out real good and put it all back together, and that really should improve the airflow on this AC. Alright, we got some aluminum bright acid wash here for this coal. We're going to spray in there and try and get these fins real good and clean. This stuff, when it hits aluminum, it foams up pretty good and should get this coal real nice and pretty. I got a little spot spray here, took the tip off, and it'll spray out good jets on the side to flush this thing out real good.
I don't know if I wouldn't hit it with the second spring. That's some pretty daggum nasty water coming out the bottom.
I mean, it's cold and good and clean. There's a bunch of caked up dirt and stuff at the bottom of the pan.
Is it?
Oh yeah. Those coals look nice and clean now. I bet we just doubled the AC performance on this thing here. Alright, we're going to finish washing this out and put it all back together. Alright, now that we got that AC and that tractor blowing like a tornado again, I swear a F5 tornado wouldn't touch the airflow coming to that tractor now. We're going to get back here on the picker, and until we get parts for the stuff that we take it apart, we're going to be working up here on the heads. And heads don't need much work, but we are going to go through and check all of our spindles here, and we're going to replace ones that are wore. About a month ago, I bought a bunch of replacement spindles from my picker supply place there in Arkansas and got a pretty dang good price on them. Anyway, on this cotton picker, you got a front drum and a rear drum on each unit. We got 6 units. There's 16 bars with 18 spindles each in the front drum, and then there's 12 bars with 18 spindles high in the rear drum. So it comes out to a grand total of, I think it's 2,880 spindles we got to go through and check. Now normally what I would do is I'd take a bad spindle and I would press it out of this bushing right here and then just press a new one in. But inside this bushing, you've got a dust collar and you've got 2 bushings that the spindle spins in. And the price for a naked spindle, I believe, was somewhere in ballpark, was somewhere around $6 to $6.50 for just the naked spindle. But I could get the spindle, new bushings, and dust collar in there priced out for, is between $7 and $7.50 a spindle. Anyway, it wound up being about $1 more per spindle to go ahead and get the spindle already pressed into another bushing with fresh bushings and a dust collar already mounted into it. So the amount of labor that it takes to put in new bushings, we gotta be over there on a Drake Arbor press. You gotta press the spindle out, then you gotta press the bushings out, then you gotta press each individual bushing in separately, and then you gotta run a broach through there to size the bushings right. Then you gotta press back in your spindle and dust collar. So for only $1 per spindle more to go ahead and get all of that done, and all I gotta do is unscrew the spindle from the bar and screw the new one in, it's pretty much a no-brainer just to go ahead and buy the complete spindle assemblies, and it'll be a whole lot faster because my time is worth more than $1 per spindle and the amount of time it would take to do that over there on the press, especially when you consider potentially going through 2,880 spindles. So we're not going to replace all spindles, but I'm going to go through and examine each single one and just replace the ones that we need. Alright, here's a new spindle, and here's one that I took out, and I'm sure you're not going to be able to see what I'm talking about, but we're looking at the barbs on this new spindle right here, nice and sharp. Anyway, on this one, they've been worn down, and I know you probably can't see it, but the chrome is starting to wear away from the tip. You kind of hear it catching on my fingernail. And once that chrome starts wearing away, these things wear out really fast. So now, while this one's still sharp enough to pick cotton, it's going to dull real fast, and then it won't pick cotton near as efficiently. You know, once that chrome starts wearing away, the chrome is what gives its life. So this one's pretty much due to be replaced. It could probably make it through this season, but you know, with cotton bringing close to $1 a pound and no telling how many pounds each of these spindles picks, you know, all it takes is about this new spindle. All it's got to do is pick 7 more pounds of cotton over the course of 485 acres to pay for itself. So it's pretty much a no-brainer. And then this other one, we took off 2 spindles on that one bar. This is kind of the same shape. The chrome's starting to wear away, and it's just about done. So that's one bar. It's going to get 2 new spindles, and we're going to keep 16 others on there. All right, we got 1 drum down, only 7 more to go. Didn't have to replace as many spindles as I thought. I think we got, I don't know, about 35, 36 spindles down there. Not too bad. We was averaging just a little over 2 spindles per bar that was showing where it needed to be replaced. So got 7 more to do. We'll see how big of a dent we can make on it this afternoon. Got another good rain today. We got about 1.2 inches overnight, and heck, we probably got another 3-4 tenths this morning. I sure wish we could have bought an inch of this back in late June, early July. It sure would have made a difference in the corn crop. But on the flip side, now it's so wet and keeps raining every other day that can't get in and finish spraying my cotton crop. I'll take it though. All right, we gotten all the way over on number 3, checking spindles out. That's all the bad spindles we've gotten so far. So Zach's going to be working ahead of me on changing spindles out. I'm going to get started back over here on number 1. And I'll be gauging bar heights here. So because how a cotton picker works, if you've never seen the video, you see those yellow pads back there. Those are polyurethane pads, and they're what doff the cotton from the spindle. And the tolerance on this is very tight. The doffer pad has to be just, I mean, just barely rubbing the top of the spindle to knock the cotton off. And because the doffer height is fixed, all of these bars right here have to be the same height. If one of them is too low, well then the doffer's not going to be close enough to the spindle and won't knock the cotton off, and then your spindle wraps up with cotton and then it doesn't pick. So we've got to go through and check and adjust the bar heights on all of these drums. Like I said, there's 16 bars in the front drum, 12 bars in the rear drum, and the maximum tolerance and the maximum difference in height between bars can be 8 1/1000ths of an inch. I like to try and gauge mine a little bit tighter. I like to gauge them within 5 1/1000ths of an inch. So we got this micrometer set up here that's got an arm that we will measure the height of the bottom spindle all the way around, and then I'll go through and record the height on this pad of paper, and then once I've done them all, then I'll figure out which bars are too high, which bars are too low. Now since we do this every year, this shouldn't take a whole lot of work. They ought to be relatively close, and hopefully we've only got to adjust just a few bars. But anyway, how we adjust the height on these bars is up under the bottom. We'll loosen these 2 bolts on the pedestal And then we'll take these shims here and then we can slide them under the pedestal. We got three different types of shims here. We got 3 1,000 thickness, got 5 1,000 thickness, and then we got 1 100th thickness, just depending on how much we need to add under there to get all the bar heights within tolerance. All right, we'll start with our first bar here. Let me get my arm out of the way. See that needle moving on the micrometer? It's got a maximum of about 2 1,000ths plus. So we're down +2. And then go around here to number 2. All right, that one's about +2 also. So number 1 and number 2 are the exact same height. That one's at around 0. That one's +1. So you see, so far, you know, we got a maximum deviation of 2 1,000ths on here, which is well within tolerance. You're not going to get any closer than that. +2. Now this one's quite a bit lower. It's about -4. So our maximum is +2, and that one's -4. So we got a deviation of about 6 1,000ths of an inch between our lowest bar and our highest bar so far. +2. Oh, I left the spindle out right there. Need to remember that, Zach, here on this front number 1 drum. We need to put another spindle on bar number 8. +2, +3, +2, +3, +1, +4, +2, +1, 0. All right, looking at my numbers here, I mean, we really only got 2 that stand out. We got a +4 here, and we got a -4 here. So, I mean, I could take 1 out of 13 if there's 1 under there. But since most of them are in the positive, +2 and +3, make more sense to add 1 to number 6, probably a 5 1,000th shim to bring that up to +1. Then all the rest of them would be within 4 1,000ths of an inch, which would be fantastic. Go around here to number 6. 1, 2. God bless, I'm on there tight. All right, now we got both loosened. Pick up, shake it there a little. All right, now we get a 5,000th shim. Pick up on the bar slightly and slide it under there. And tighten it back up. Now we'll remeasure, make sure it's spot on. Yeah, there it is, about +2. All right, front drum on number 1's done. 7 more to go. Well, I got caught up to Zach on gauging bars. He's still changing spindles out. He ran the 1 drum that's got a lot more to do to it than what we thought. So I thought I'd come over here and start working on this fan drive shaft assembly, change the bearings in there that I knew I had to change. Anyway, got taken it apart and got the fan clutch off. And this is an electric fan clutch that engages the blower fan that blows the cotton in the basket. And when I took it apart, I was just shocked by how much dust was in here from clutch wear. I mean, you wouldn't think there'd be much, because I mean, it's simply on or off. There's no dragging it or anything like that. But this sucker, a lot more wear in it than I thought. And I took it to Tennessee Tractor, asked them about it, and they said, yeah, the clutch discs are pretty much shot. And really, if we were to put this back in there, we'd be running a huge fire risk, because once the clutch discs are gone, I mean, it's pretty much metal on metal and throwing sparks right up under the basket. disaster waiting to happen. So anyway, they had another one in stock. But for the price I paid for this thing, just take a wild guess. I'll give you a second. Take a wild guess what this electric fan clutch with a pulley was.
And don't cheat.
$2,868 and some change. You know, used to when I first took over this farm, my dad passed away, I was shocked by how much stuff costs, how outrageous parts were, and then over the course of the years, I just become jaded. In fact, if a part comes in cheaper than what I thought it'd be, I'm shocked then. Well, I was really shocked this time. I was expecting $500, $600, maybe $800 for this. Almost $3,000. There goes my beer money for this weekend. I swear, I just ain't got no words. But anyway, we got to have it. But for what we're about to spend on this picker this year, I could have made a pretty nice little payment on a baler picker. Hadn't got the estimate for the hydrostats yet, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that's somewhere in the ballpark $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 for that. You know, I spent $7,000 on spindles, almost $3,000 on this. All the other little assorted parts that we've gotten, I don't know. Kelly went and got them. I didn't even look at the ticket. I don't even want to know. But I mean, we're looking like, I mean, we're easily going to be spending $20,000 on this picker, probably a little bit more on this picker when it's all said and done. But hopefully once we do that, it'll be good to go until I do trade it in, which I don't have any idea when that'll be. Anyway, I'm gonna get these expensive parts put on and I'm gonna call it a week.